Welcome back to another episode of Blueprints and Banter, the ABC Florida Gulf Coast Chapter podcast. Today we're talking all things NEXGEN. So I'm here with our class of 2027 class chairs. And we're going to just talk about the program, what made you all get involved with NEXGEN, and look ahead to the upcoming class. Applications are open, so we're really excited about seeing who applies for the class of 2027. So before we get into all the nitty gritty, Arin, I'll start with you. If you could just introduce yourself, your company, what you do, and what made you apply to NEXGEN.
Sure. So I am Arin Lowery. I work for ACCI Contracting, and I am the operations manager over there. We are a low voltage contractor, so we do everything low voltage. So wide range of low voltage services. NEXGEN, I got into NEXGEN because I wanted to build myself professionally, meet more contacts, understand the whole, not just my scope of work in the construction industry, but better understand how everybody comes together in the construction industry. And I got a lot out of the NEXGEN, so.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Kyle?
I'm Kyle Shank. I'm a senior project manager for Schaefer General Contracting. I'm fairly new to the Tampa area. I've only been here about 4.5 years, so NEXGEN for me was a great way to both meet new subcontractors and trade partners, learn about other general contractors in the area, as well as, again, the big thing for me was trying to become a better leader. And it's nice to have a program that's, leadership, but it's the area you work in. It's not a national thing. You get to meet a lot of people locally who are probably going through the same things you are.
Awesome. Ciarra?
I'm Ciarra Wilson. I'm a project engineer for Gaylor Electric. And a couple of different reasons I joined NEXGEN. One, I like to do things that initially make me feel uncomfortable. It's a good way to just rip the Band-Aid off. And I had a lot of good support and encouragement to join the program. And like Kyle, I'm pretty new to the area. I've been here about 5 years, so I felt like it was a good way for me to get out and meet other people in our industry. You work with the same kind of 5-6 people, steady on 1 to 2 jobs, so it was nice to kind of broaden my horizons and get to meet new people.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, we're excited to have you guys chair the upcoming class. Really looking forward to what you all are going to bring to it. So if you can put yourself in the mindset of folks listening to this podcast episode, maybe they don't know anything about NEXGEN, maybe they've been part of ABC for a little while, but they don't really understand what NEXGEN is or what to expect from it. So I think that's kind of what we're going to kind of tackle while we chat today. Kyle, I'll start with you. Was NEXGEN your first involvement with ABC, or had you had previous involvement with ABC?
I've definitely had previous involvement with ABC, and I've been part of chapters all the way going back to when I was in New York to when I was in North Carolina to now being in Tampa. And one of the best things to toot the horn of the Gulf Coast, it's probably the best chapter I've been a part of.
We think it's the best chapter as well.
But it's a great setup because I've been to a lot of different events, and each event and different things. I would say there's big events every year that you definitely want to go to. But the great part about the NEXGEN program is no matter what you have going on, it's something you get excited for every time we have a class. A lot of the events you could look at, you sign up in advance, and then I think a lot of people will go, oh, well, I've got this thing going on, I don't want to go, or I've got to do something else. NEXGEN for me, as I was going through the class, was great because it was, when I saw it coming up on my calendar the next week, it was like, oh, that's awesome, I get to see this person, or I get to do this, we have a new class coming on this week. So it was just something very exciting, to have, each month or whenever that class was.
Awesome. Arin, what about you? What had been your involvement with ABC prior to NEXGEN?
Similar to Kyle's, except for I've been down in the Florida area for about 10 years now. I unfortunately did not get any experience to ABC in West Michigan, where I'm from, and there is an office up there. But I have had an amazing time prior to the NEXGEN getting involved with some of the events before I was part of the NEXGEN program. Similar to Kyle, I feel like the NEXGEN was a constant. Yes, a looking forward to. We loved coming. because we knew all of those people were being accountable and they would be there, they'd show up.
Right.
So it wasn't I might see this person. I know I'm going to see this person.
Right.
I know I can continue to grow and build that relationship versus I might be able to grow and build that relationship.
Awesome. So, and for some people who may not understand how NextGen is formatted, it's an application interview selection process. We meet from September to April, one Wednesday a month for the full day. So Ciarra, what was the biggest thing that you learned through the NextGen program?
It's kind of hard to pick just one. I learned that I'm really good at playing small harmonicas, but on a serious note, I just wanted to be a student of the program. Like I wanted to be a sponge and soak up and expose myself to as much as I could. I really loved the first day, our team bonding day. I say that all the time, but I just love that nitty gritty mentality. I don't care.
Well, and for you, if you want to do things that make you uncomfortable, that day will make you very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's a really good way to just rip off the Band-Aid. So it was, and by the end of the class, we're all how do we just meet today? You know what I mean?
Right.
And I have separation anxiety, so like you guys, I was like, tomorrow's NextGen, like to see you at work. So I was excited, and I'm really excited for the program. I'm excited to co-chair with these two, cream of the crop, right?
Yeah.
So I'm excited to still be a student and see what else I'm able to learn and just gain from the program. I think it's awesome. It's great.
Awesome.
Yeah,
We love to hear that. Arin, was there a topic or a speaker or something that the group did throughout the course of the program that really stuck with you the most?
That's a hard one to just pick one, honestly. I thought that all of the speakers were really, really good. I will say that probably the one that stuck with me the most, because we were able to build off of that, was the personality profile, the DISC class, because we learned so much about ourselves.
Who's this?
Yeah. You learn some things you don't maybe want to know about yourself as well.
Correct.
Yeah.
But also then how it helps you day to day.
Or you're more self-aware of the person that you are, because I think most of us can recognize how we are. But honing that in and making sure that we're using those traits, those qualities positively to help become the next best leaders, to help mentor our teams, to help mentor our peers. So I think for me, if I had to pick just one, it would be the personality of this class.
Awesome. Kyle, same question for you.
Yeah, that's tough. I think the one of the times that we had, and apologies because I may butcher her name, but she came in to talk about public speaking and public relations when it comes to critical conversations. So it's something that you probably never want to talk about when there's an issue on a job site, when there's someone gets hurt or something along those lines. But she did a really great job in kind of dumbing it down and just being very specific. I actually still have the little card that she gave us, of here's the things that you do and don't do.
Yeah.
And it really helped me to understand, hey, if I ever get in that situation, I feel so much more comfortable now handling it, understanding it, and also even looking at the company that I'm with and going, what is our policy, right? Do we need to change something so that, again, in the worst case scenario, we're ready to go and, we're going to follow the steps.
Yeah. Awesome. Let's pivot a little bit and let's talk about, obviously this program was, Kyle, you mentioned it earlier, it's a leadership program, but we focus specifically on the industry and the different issues impacting the industry. So I want to focus a little bit on future leadership and how this program or programs like this help better the industry. So Arin, for you, why do you think that leadership development is so important in our industry right now?
Right now, because you can see it, we are facing an upcoming shortage of skilled workforce, and we are building our replacements, and we're building the next generation. Right. So for us to be strong leaders and to teach the right ways, I think that's very important. And this generation that we're teaching is much different than how we were taught and how we learned. So we have to adapt to the new ways, new tech. Yeah, the new technology, exactly, all of the things. So I think because of that, because we are building our replacements and teaching our replacements, leadership is key to that.
Absolutely. Part of that, I think, too, is as the new guard comes into the industry or to some of these companies, you really start to see the relationships and the impact of relationships. So, Ciarra, how important is relationship building in this industry?
It's literally the biggest, smallest world, right? I tell people all the time, if they're going from one company to another, I'm like, do it the right way, because you never know who you're gonna see again, who you're gonna work with again. Just be professional, conduct yourself correctly, and at the end of the day, we all probably know 10 people, and within those 10 people, one of them works in every trade that we all deal with every day. So the accessibility is really nice, especially if any of us even just have a question. I know I could pick up the phone and call anybody and be like, hey, so sorry, really quick. 25 minutes later, you answer my question. But I love to chat and I miss you because separation anxiety. But I think it's really important. They the relationships you build, kind of follow you around for the rest of your career. So, I think it's important to, pick and choose the right ones as well. Just don't do it for the sake of getting your face out there. You definitely want to make sure you have some quality in the mix. So,
Absolutely. Kyle, Schaefer has been a part of NEXGEN for the last probably 5 or 6 years. You guys have sent multiple people through the program. Why is it so important for companies to invest in their people and have them participate in programs like this?
Yeah, and we kind of touched on it before when we talked about, the new leadership and new people coming into companies. Any good company is going to really look, at the younger people coming in kind of as their, farm team, to use a sports analogy. But if they're not training those people in the same way that the leaders currently are trained, you're going to lose a lot of that, culture and consistency across your company. So as long as you're doing that, and I think that's one of the big things with Schaefer, why, every new person or every person they can to go through the NEXGEN program, because they see the benefit, they see the consistency of the learning across each one of those, the people that have gone through the program. And so their mindset is, hey, if there's another person that comes into the company, at a certain point, we want to get them into the NEXGEN program. And I think the amount of companies that probably have repeat employees, that have come back into the program from that company, it speaks volumes to, how good the program is and why the program is, where it's at. And it's a great program to train the group that's coming in, that you hope one day is the vice president, is the executive, is the potentially the CEO, right, of the future of the company.
Yeah, and we use NEXGEN. Obviously our goal is to help our member companies build their internal organization and create their future leaders. But selfishly, our chapter uses it to decide who's going to lead our chapter, right? Who's going to be on our board in 5 or 6 years. And I think right now we currently have 10 NEXGEN alumni sitting on our chapter board.
Wow.
So it's a big deal for us. And the support of the member companies investing in that program is huge, and what makes it so valuable. So now we're looking ahead to the class of 2027. As I mentioned, applications are open. You guys just completed the class of 2026 and then decided to throw your name in the hat to spend one more full year with me and chair the upcoming class, right? So you guys, as exiting alumni, will now chair the incoming group. Why, and Ciarra, I'll start with you, but why was it important for you to step up and throw your name in the hat to chair?
I always love this question. I kind of make it my mission to be a face and the type of leader that I craved coming up through this industry. It was an interesting start to my construction career, and if I would have just had a single person that I could have ran to for anything, that would have been amazing. So I like to kind of be the person that I wish I had, kind of almost growing up, come over here, I'll be your safe space, you come talk about whatever, if I can help you do something, I'm gonna do it. I think it's important to serve others. That's how I kind of
Arin, what was your reasoning for wanting to be class chair?
I wasn't ready to be done with NEXGEN, and I wanted to learn and be involved in a different way, because I had so much growth and fun being a student
Right.
of NEXGEN, I saw the impact that the alumni had for our class on us and the program that they helped put together. And I wanted to help be impactful for the next group and again learn, because I know there will be more of that as an alumni chair. So that's my main thing, is to continue to grow and be involved and mentor.
That's amazing. And I think you guys are going to knock it out of the park. So I'm really excited to see what you bring to it. Kyle, we're going to have a new crop of 30 to 35 folks coming in to NEXGEN, maybe new to the industry, maybe new in their role, new to ABC. What does that responsibility feel like for you to kind of help guide those future leaders?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a big responsibility. If I was to look at myself and my career, as I've come up through, and even, when I started the NEXGEN program, it's really important, I know Ciarra's talked about a lot, to get out of your comfort zone, right? And that's something I've always struggled with, throughout my career. It's really easy when you're, in the throes of working every day, you're in this silo, you put the blinders on and you just kind of stick to it. But it's programs like NEXGEN that have really helped me to pull out of that and think, not only how can I get better, but how can I make the industry better? How can I make the local community better?
Right.
And those are the important things that, you get out of NEXGEN, that it's really great for anyone who can be a part of the program, who can be a part of ABC and get into it, because, I used to work for a guy that always tell me, like, what is your legacy going to be when you're done working, right? Is it going to be that, hey, you just put your head down and went to work every day? That's what you can be, right? Or do you want to be a person that's, hey, this person helped the community, this person was huge in the industry, they became a big leader in something and part of the industry, and that's what I want to help people do, because that's also what I want to do.
Awesome.
And I think between that, you can kind of grow together.
Yeah, no, that's a great answer. And this one's going to be for all three of you, so we can just start from Arin and work our way down. I always say I don't think you can put a NEXGEN candidate in a box, right? There's not a perfect person to be part of NEXGEN. You have an array of backgrounds, job roles, time in the industry, tenure with their company. Some people have been in NEXGEN and maybe they've worked for 3 or 4 ABC member companies. One thing I think that's starting to get maybe a little muddied is that everybody thinks NEXGEN is for 40 and under, and it's not, right? It's not young professionals. Nope. It is a program designed to grow leaders in the industry. So if somebody was standing here right now and said, I don't know if NEXGEN's for me, I don't know if I should apply, why would you tell them to apply?
Geez, that's a hard one to just focus on one reason, or even just a handful of reasons. Why? Because it is an amazing experience. You build connections that you wouldn't get exposure to elsewhere, realistically, if it wasn't for this program. And you learn so much about the industry, about leading, about topics that you may know stuff about, but aren't always on the forefront of your thinking on your day-to-day operations. And it will make you a stronger individual, and will make you a stronger asset for yourself and for your company.
Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, I think, the perfect candidate, if you could get one right, would just be somebody who's hungry to learn. That's the biggest thing, that was my driving force for getting into NEXGEN too. But, if that person's hungry to learn, hungry to get better, you want to, whether it's move up in the company you're at, or move up in another company, or just get better overall what you do every day, this program's going to help you do that. So unless you're just sedentary and you're just happy where you're at, you're just going to punch the ticket every day and that's it, maybe it's not the right thing for you. But if you do want to get better, you do want to grow, you want to go to the next step of where you're at, this is the kind of program that's good for you.
I can say for me, for like 2 weeks before I turned my application in, I pretty much had a panic attack about it every day, because I was like, I'm almost 40, like, there's going to be kids in like their 20s, like, I don't need to be doing this. And I had some really good leaders in the office. Actually, our class chair, who's my project manager at work, he was like, shut up. You're going to regret it if you don't do it. Boy, was he right.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that I just stepped outside of myself and did something that made me so uncomfortable that like my hands were sweating on the first day. And I applied for chair because, like Arin said, like I still want to be a part of this program and learn and, just try to make a difference. So if this makes your stomach hurt thinking about applying, apply today.
And you weren't in a room with only 20-year-olds, right? You weren't.
Yeah.
There was
No. And
No.
and we all got along. Like we all got along. Some of my greatest friends are like 65-year-old men.
Yeah.
Like
We love that.
I'd love that.
We'd love to have that.
It's a good spread,
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. So as we kind of wrap up, last question I have for each of you is, we haven't really gotten into the nitty gritty of planning, the content for the upcoming class, but just for those listening, and we'll go back down the other way, so we'll start with Ciarra, but what is the impact you're hoping to make on the class of 2027, or what are you hoping that they walk away with at the end of it?
One, I hope to, help develop really good communicators. And I just want to help people build their confidence. It's really easy to strip someone of their confidence, especially in the industry that we work in, and it takes years to get it back. But with the right people around you, they can really foster an environment where you just kind of like let go and start trusting yourself. So I'm really looking forward to, just like a mother goose. Just, come on, little babies.
Kyle.
I think, a big thing for me is creating kind of the next network or community within the industry we have here in Tampa. I think that a lot of people, like I said, can just be head down and just do their job, and they don't get to interact with people from other general contractors, other trade partners that may be in the industry. And I think creating that new, that next level of network between them, those are the people that will then be the leaders at those next companies. And then you have someone who, like Ciarra or Arin, that I can talk to, for the rest of my career in this area and go to when, you're a vice president or you're a CEO or whatever it is. Like when we all go up to that point, you now have connections at that CEO. Yeah.
CEO, I love that. I love that.
I know that. I like it. I like that. Yeah, I like it.
Arin, same question for you.
For me, I think similar to Ciarra, I'm excited to see the growth in all of the class members, the future class members. I'm excited to build that mentorship, and I think that's probably what I'm most excited for. What I want them to get out of it is for their personal growth. That's my biggest goal, is for them to gain something that will help them professionally.
Absolutely.
And personally, because I think in this class, it's not limited to just professional.
Definitely not, yeah.
Yeah, there is a lot of personal growth
100%.
that happens as well through the program. Well, thank you, the three of you, for being here and being on Blueprints and Banter with me today. Like I said, I'm really excited to kind of hit the ground running and work with you guys over the next year for the class of 2027. Applications are open on our website, abcflgulf.org. They are due June 30th. So we are excited to see and meet all the new folks and add to our NEXGEN family. Thank you guys again for being here.
Thank you for having
so
us.
much.
Bye-bye.